First, I'd like to thank the original caretakers of this land for allowing us to share and work on this unceded territory, and you folks today for giving us the opportunity to speak. My name is Chimmy Lomo, and I'm a double major in neuroscience and psychology at the University of Toronto Scarborough, and I also serve as the president of the Scarborough Campus Student Union.
Hello, everyone. So my name is Sarah Mohammed. I'm a fourth year doing a major in health studies and a double minor in psychology and city studies, and I'm the vice president campus life at the Scarborough Campus Student Union. Both myself and Chimmy are student representatives of the 14,000 undergraduate students at the University of Toronto Scarborough campus.
We're here today to speak because we do not want you to approve a bad deal. We're asking you to keep transit in the hands of Torontonians. Prioritize people's needs and students' needs. This issue matters to me because as someone who commutes from the west end of Parkdale all the way to Scarborough, UTSC, it takes about an hour and a half to 2 hours one way to be able to access post-secondary education. This issue is personal, and it's also personal because as student representatives of our campus that is known to be a commuter campus as well as has the largest percentage of OSAP-dependent students. Thousands of students are affected by your decision today. In the face of cuts to post-secondary education funding by the provincial government through the reduction of grants and increased loss of loans, students simply cannot afford to take further financial burden. As students, we want to expand our minds, not our debt.
We want transit to stay public. If the Ontario line is built as a public-private partnership, where's the accountability to the people of Toronto? Premier Ford took Eglinton East and the waterfront LRTs off the map, and that is unacceptable. With the 3-stop Scarborough subway, I'd have to tell our students at UTSC that we would have to wait until 2029, but then forget about, myself and Chimmy. The first years, everybody would have already graduated. Personally, for me, it also takes about 2 hours to get to UTSC, so I take an average of 4 buses and a subway to get to campus. We're tired of Scarborough and transit riders in Scarborough not being prioritized, and that we know that our city can do better. And like myself, like Chimmy, as a commuter, we can clearly tell where the priorities of the cities are, so it's essential to make transit better for Scarborough, because just like me, commuters just like me, our education is important and it matters.
In conclusion, we do not want Scarborough transit riders to be forgotten. Our priorities and our needs are important. There's a saying, nothing about us without us. So we are urging you to keep Toronto's transit in the hands of Torontonians and do not approve a bad deal. Don't say yes to privatized transit. Don't approve a plan that leaves the Eglinton East LRT out of the map. Unite with the students and transit users in Scarborough. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you very much. Are there questions from Councillor Ainsley for you? Oh, so I'm sorry, Jennifer. I didn't see you. So I apologize. Jennifer, Councillor McKelvey.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you for coming in. I know you had a long commute to get down here. I won't ask you how old you are, but I am going to go on a limb and say that it was after 1985.
Yes.
Okay, so in 1985 was the last year that we had a major public transit corridor open in Scarborough, right? So would you like to see transit built in Scarborough in your lifetimes?
Yes, please. And we know that you folks have also promised us transit in 2016, 2018, and we still haven't seen anything yet. So waiting on promises to be fulfilled. Yeah,
we've been waiting a long time in Scarborough. And the Eglinton East LRT will have a stop at Scarborough campus, correct? So is that line really important to students? Maybe you could just speak a little bit to how important that line would be for you.
Yeah, so I can speak on my personal experience. I would go from where I live, which is Ward 7, Humber River Creek area, go down to Eglinton West, take a bus to Eglinton East, and then Eglinton East to campus. So it would take my 2 hours to at least an hour. It's not that great, but it's better than how long I take to get to campus. And we've talked to students, a lot of people take about 2 hours to get to campus because it's a commuter campus. So anything helps, especially the Eglinton East LRT. It's something that we really want, that we need, so we're advocating for it.
Great, and sorry, I misspoke earlier, so you actually live downtown, but you go out to Scarborough, right? And so you come out to us every single day. to
Yes.
school. Okay, so thank you. So the Eglinton East LRT would serve both the needs of Scarborough residents, but also other people that are coming into Scarborough to work or go to school and live their day-to-day activities.
Yep.
Okay, wonderful. So through this agreement, it is changing the subway so that we would have 3 stops, so that would be more service for Scarborough, and the provincial government has agreed that they would pay for that, which would mean that the city isn't contributing to those funds. But it could free up money that we could use towards other lines. So do you think it would be important that with those freed up funds, we use some of those towards building the Eglinton East LRT?
Yeah. I think that's basic logic, that a few folks have promised us that we would have access to better transit in the Scarborough area, and there is freed up money, then why would you not use it? I don't think it takes that much logic to be able to, actually apply the funds where it's needed and somewhere where you folks have already recognized that it is a priority. Another example, I think Councillor Ainsley was mentioning about the 905 question. Yes, in last year, same representatives from our campus came by and spoke to you folks about the 905. Yes, I use a 905 on a daily basis. It comes every 9 minutes instead of 10 minutes like it did from the previous 198. It's a minute faster, but sorry to break it to you, there is a lot of delays that happens all the time, especially during winter time. I have screenshots on my phone that says that, it's coming in 9 minutes, but then it just skips one bus because they just don't have enough buses, and so I wait another 18 minutes.
So when, I realize you're both new leadership because you change every year. So
Yes.
in the spring, we had students from the former
Scarborough
president
Campus Student
attended
Union, yes.
and pointed out also problems with the TTC bus into the area. And the mayor at that time had promised that he would work with me, the local councillor, to bring that forward. So we have brought that forward to the TTC to ask them to review the bus service to Scarborough Campus, specifically TTC. And I also just wanted to let you know that there is also right now public consultation happening for the Durham Rapid Bus. And so we'll send that to you because I think that's it's important you also attend those stakeholder meetings and give that voice that we need to improve the connection with the 905. University of Toronto Scarborough, you're right on the eastern edge of the city, right? So it's very important that you have better access with Pickering as well, and Durham and all of those other spots. So thank you again for coming in today. Thank you for taking leadership at the Scarborough campus, and I just have to say it's so great to be inspired by your leadership in this. I remember being a student at Scarborough campus when I still wanted to save the world, but now I just want to survive it most days. So thanks for bringing that energy to the table.
Thank you.
course.
Thank you for those answers. Are there other questions of these deputies? Could I just ask, I'm sorry, Councillor Ainsley, yes, go ahead.
Thank you. So thank you for coming in again about public transit in Scarborough again. So really the 3 biggest concerns of students at UTSC, so privatize, you don't want public transit privatized. You want the Eglinton East LRT built. We heard loud and clear last time, and Mayor Tory acknowledged it as well. The 905 bus, I know that my own son takes it, complains all the time about it's late, doesn't run on time, it's crowded, so you want that dealt with. And then the other priority is there's really no transit connection except for the Durham bus, and I'm told that doesn't run frequently as well. We also don't allow the Durham bus into the TTC loop at UTSC. It's forced to drive around the block.
That has actually recently caused a lot of issues for our students. Even before we came into sort of office, we've heard a lot of students who are actually waiting at the corner of a street. So there's not even a sidewalk. Students are waiting at a corner of a street where there's just lawn for the 900 bus from the Durham Transit because of the whole conflict between TTC and Durham Transit not being able to be in the same loop. So students are actually not even waiting at an actual bus stop, rather it's just a lawn.
And
Really? Is
it's
that on the
not
lawn?
safe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sorry,
We can
which-
send pictures to you
which corner is
folks.
that at?
Ellesmere Military Ellesmere. It's like on Ellesmere in like in front of the houses. It's like on the lawn. It's
Yeah.
not safe. Like there's no sidewalk. It's just like right beside the street. And there's lots of students who wait for the 900 bus. So
On the lawn.
On the lawn.
much.
Yeah, we can send you folks pictures. We have screenshots of those as well, if you need. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much for coming
course.
in. Appreciate it.
Could I just, any other questions? I just had one, something I went over with the previous deputy. You're aware in terms of the, trying to get the Scarborough East Eglinton East LRT done, that, because it's part of our transit plan, we very much want it to happen, but you're aware that this report and this overall arrangement, because the province is paying for 100% of the cost of the Scarborough subway, I agree or disagree with it, they're paying 100% of the cost, that will free up more than $1 billion of city money that is already being collected from city taxpayers, and that they have indicated in this agreement that they would be quite happy to see us invest that either in state of good repair or in projects that are specifically mentioned, including the Scarborough East LRT, so that by having that $1 billion freed up, I would say, would you agree with me that it kind of moves us at least a step closer to identifying money? Because that's always the holdup on different projects, is we don't have the money to finance them. So that as much as you're critical of some aspects of this deal, that would be a step forward to getting the Eglinton LRT built.
Yes, please. I think we're tired of being sidelined.
I don't even disagree with you. I mean, I think one of the reasons we wanted to proceed with our own transit plan that contemplated both the extension of the subway and the Scarborough East LRT was because we had approved it, we'd done a lot of the work on it, and we had some funding to sort out. Anyway, that was the only question I wanted to ask.